Are you frustrated hearing students talk while you're teaching? Do you see kids drawing and chatting instead of paying attention? Are you tired of feeling like you have to be mean just to get them quiet? Well, you're not alone, and you don't have to keep fighting this the hard way. I'm going to show you the exact things you need to do, the thoughts you need to be thinking, and some of the words you need to say to stop the chatter fast and to get your class back on track, because classroom management is just like baking a cake. So stick around, you're going to want to see this. The first thing you got to do is stop thinking that stopping them will interrupt the lesson. You think, I have to push through and get this taught. If someone asks you to bake a cake for their birthday, you don't bake the cake, show it to them, and then throw it in the trash. They would say, what are you doing? And then you respond with, what? I baked the cake. That's what you told me to do. You can't get mad at me. The point of the cake was to eat it. The point of the lesson is that kids learn it. It does no good teaching if they're not learning. If you keep pushing through the lesson without addressing the talking, then certainly the kids talking won't learn, and the kids around them will struggle to learn. Learning is the goal, not teaching. The second thing you got to stop thinking is, it's just a whisper, no big deal. Listen, that whisper is like someone else putting an extra egg into your batter while you're cooking. You might not even notice at first. Then they add another egg and another. And before you know it, you have a runny batter. This can lead to dense, gummy, uneven baked cake, even that has a wet center. Gross. But eggs are necessary for a good cake. So too, hey, talking is good. It's even necessary in a good classroom, but it has to be added at the right time and in the right amounts. You can't let constant side conversations go unchecked, just like you don't let other people add a bunch of ingredients into your cake. The third thing you can't do is you can't think to yourself, I have to earn the respect before I can correct them. Wrong. That's like waiting for the cake to bake itself before you turn on the oven. You already have authority. Use it. You're in charge of the classroom, not the kids. You don't have to ask for permission to turn on the oven. You don't have to ask for permission to turn down the level in your classroom. You are the chef. Take control of the kitchen. No one else is coming. You have to learn how to better use your tools so you can solve the problems you're facing. And the first step is to know what things are problems and what are not. Think about it. A new chef doesn't know how good a cake can actually be. Someone who only buys their cakes from Costco doesn't know the greatness of a home-cooked cake by a master chef. That is the same thing in your classroom. You might be suffering through things that you have no business suffering through. You, as a good teacher, need to learn what's possible and what doesn't have to exist. Because you might be thinking, this is just normal. Kids can't focus. No, not at all. Your kids can do a good job. You can raise the standard. You can expect greatness, and they will rise to it. You might be thinking, if I correct them, I'm going to look mean or controlling. Look, a master chef is given credit for the end product because of the way she controlled the environment, her tools, and the ingredients. That is her job. Friend, you have to be controlling. We hate that word, but what you're doing is controlling. You're controlling the attention of the classroom. Now, you can't take away the kids' God-given right to control themselves individually, and nor should you, but you are in charge of the classroom. They control themselves, although you control the consequences. That's one of those key phrases you can use in your classroom. Say, listen, I can't control you. You're in charge of you, but I do control the consequences. If you keep doing that, here is what I will do. The next thing you got to stop thinking is that if you ignore it, it's going to go away. That is ridiculous. Think about it. When you bake a cake, you can't ignore any step. You can't just decide, I'm not going to worry about that one. I don't need to mix the ingredients. Who cares what happens? No, that doesn't work. Okay. Things don't bake themselves. Things don't happen on accident. You have to make them happen, and that's okay. Now, I'm going to give you your own recipe card, some proven steps you can follow right now. If you stick to these, your students will accept correction more easily when you have to give it. So here's your classroom flow recipe card for correcting side talking. Number 1, say their name. Number 2, say please. And number 3, tell them what you want and be specific. And then be sure to move on. That's it. Don't overcomplicate. Name, please, direction, and then move on. Keep it simple. So it might be like this. Andrew, please stop talking. And if you can use sign language, it's even better. you get their attention. That right there, 2 seconds, and you move right on. Don't give negative attention to those kids who are seeking attention. When he moves on or gets quiet, that's when you can come back around and say, hey, good job. Thank you for getting quiet when I asked you. That is what you can do. Oh, and one last thing. Just like in a kitchen, there's a time to talk while you work. When you're baking a cake with your family, you don't demand absolute silence the whole time. You're working, but it's also talking, laughing, connecting. That's what makes it fun. A classroom is no different. If the work is still getting done, you don't have to squash every whisper. Requiring absolute focused silence at all time is unrealistic, and honestly, it can kill the joy of learning. Give your students the same grace you'd want if you were working along someone else in the kitchen. And finally, kids are much more likely to stay on task and even talk about the work in positive, productive ways if what they're doing matters to them and the class. When students feel like they're part of something bigger, like putting on a play reading class or running a business math class, they'll care about the work and they stay engaged. And their talk will actually support the learning instead of distract from it. And if you enjoyed this, be sure to check out classroomflow.us and take the Order Over Masterclass. The link is in the description. Click the link in the description right now. Get started today. And remember, subscribe, hit the bell, and drop a comment, because stronger classrooms don't happen by accident. They're built.